My name is Nancy. I'm a well-respected police officer in my town. I wasn't always well-respected, though. In fact, I only got that way because I finally stood up to my family and called them out for their behavior. Growing up, I learned early on that life wasn't fair. My parents had a golden child, my brother, James. And then they had me, the unwanted extra. James got everything he wanted: new clothes, the best toys, vacations. Me, I was an afterthought. If I asked for something, I got a lecture about being ungrateful. If I spoke up, I was disrespectful. If James made a mistake, it was swept under the rug. But if I so much as breathed wrong, I was the villain. There are a million examples of this, and remembering them hurts like a punch in the gut. Our birthdays were always a stark reminder, like for James's 10th birthday. I had turned 8 just 1 month before and had gotten nothing from my family. I came downstairs the morning of his birthday and saw that the living room was piled high with brightly wrapped boxes.
Whoa! Look at all these gifts.
Only the best for our little star. Open this one first, sweetheart.
And after cake, we have a special surprise. Your new bike. No way! You guys are the best.
Mom, Dad, you didn't get me anything last month for my birthday.
Oh, sweetheart, we were just so busy. You know how life gets.
Besides, birthdays aren't about gifts, Nancy. It's about family. Now let's focus on James. He only turns 10 once.
I sat on the sofa, trying my best to hold back tears, as James excitedly ripped through his gifts, shouting at each new gift. Each gift he got was one more than what my parents had thought to get me. Birthdays were one kind of hurt, but other occasions came close. Like one time when I was 9. It was a stormy day, and the school was completely empty except for my homeroom teacher, Mrs. Carter. She sat on the chair beside me in the doorway of the school.
Are you sure your mom said she was coming?
She always comes.
This is the 5th time this year that she's been so late, and we're only in the 2nd week.
When I talked again, my voice was trembling. It's because James doesn't go to our school anymore. He's in middle school now.
Let's try calling them again.
I've tried. They don't answer.
Let me have a go.
Mrs. Carter pulled out her work phone and dialed my mom's number. She kept the phone ringing, and after a few minutes, someone picked up.
Hello, it's Mrs. Carter here, your daughter's teacher. Nancy is sitting here and she insists that you were supposed to pick her up, but it's 2 hours after all the other kids have gone home, and she's still here. Nancy? Oh my goodness, I completely forgot. James had his soccer game today.
I didn't know that I could feel worse, but my parents were always quick to alter my expectations. But that hurt. You forgot I existed.
Don't be dramatic, Nancy. I'll send your dad.
I wasn't being dramatic. She had definitely forgotten that I existed. They were probably out celebrating James's soccer games, whether he won or lost, and hadn't noticed or cared that their daughter was absent. When my dad came to pick me up, he'd complained about being taken away from celebrating James's team's win.
Why couldn't you have just walked home?
I didn't say anything. I just kept my head down the whole drive home and hid myself in my room. If that wasn't bad enough, about a year on, James had failed a maths test. My parents brought it up over dinner. I was sitting down, staring at my cold food, and listening as my parents started to question my brother. James was never in trouble. My hands were cold because I knew that somehow they'd turn this onto me.
James, your teachers called and told us that you'd failed your maths test. What on earth happened?
It was a really hard test.
We give you everything you need, James. Tutors, support. There's no excuse for this.
That's when my father turned to look at me.
You're his sister. Why weren't you helping him study?
Me? I have my own schoolwork. He never asked me for help.
You should have seen he was struggling. A good sister would have stepped in.
I could see James smirking, but he straightened out his expression when our parents looked back at him. Maybe he should take responsibility for himself.
Watch your tone, young lady. We do everything for this family, and you just sit there with an attitude.
I was so frustrated that I stood up and glared at my mother and father. No, you do everything for James. I'm just the one you blame when he screws up.
Nancy, sit down this instant.
I went straight to my room. I couldn't deal with them. I needed to be on my own for a while. Just a month later, we were once again at the dinner table. I'd had a long day. I'd woken up early to put my PE kit through the wash because my parents had left it out to make sure it didn't sully James' basketball jersey. Then, I had to run to school and completely miss breakfast because my parents wanted to take James first. But I already had so many late notices. Middle school were a lot less forgiving than elementary, and since James was in high school, those easy days when they would drop us both off at the same place were long gone. At lunch, I had to complete my maths homework that I had missed the night before because James had cut the electricity, and so I didn't have internet. Meaning, by dinner, I was starving. I watched as my mother loaded James's plate full of food. I had a slip of steak and an even smaller serving of mashed potatoes. Mother, could I please have some more?
There's not enough to go around. James needs his strength.
You could probably do with losing some weight anyway.
I could feel that I was getting to the edge. I was losing all patience with my family. I think the final blow came when James graduated high school. That night, after a dinner they'd forgotten to invite me to, Mother, Father, and James were sitting in the living room. What are you guys looking at?
Oh, just old pictures. James was such an adorable baby, huh?
What about me? Where are my baby pictures? My mom made a show of flipping through the pages and making a face.
I don't think we have any.
What? That's impossible. There has to be some.
Well, we were so busy with James. He was always running around getting into things. We must have forgotten.
That blow was devastating. I thought that was the worst it could get. One day, when I was 17, things hit rock bottom, proving me wrong. It was another birthday. James's 17th, just 1 month after my sweet 16. James was let outside with a blindfold on.
You're ungrateful, Nancy. You don't respect this family.
I just asked why James got a car for his birthday, and I didn't even get a cake for mine.
Because James deserves it. Unlike you, he actually makes us proud.
This is too much. You've done nothing for me. You've been cruel to me my entire life, and you think you can just tell me I never make you proud? That's because you never care about the things I do.
You know what? That's it. I want you out.
You can't be serious.
You've been nothing but trouble. Always talking back. Always causing problems. We're done, Nancy.
James needs a peaceful home. You being here, well, it's just not working out.
My mom went upstairs and threw all my things in a suitcase and tossed it down the stairs.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Just like that. No real goodbye, no second chances. I had nowhere to go, but I swore to myself one thing. I would never crawl back to them. Fast forward 10 years, I made it. I put myself through school, became an FBI agent, and built a life that had nothing to do with them. I hadn't spoken to my family since the day they threw me out. But later, I heard rumors that my brother had spiraled into gambling and drugs, drowning our parents in debt, even though they still had faith he would make it in life. And then, one night, everything came full circle. Apparently, there had been an ongoing case the FBI was working on, a lone jewelry thief who had been terrorizing the state. We had been trying to catch him for a while. One night, I got a call about an active heist. When we showed up, the thief escaped through a window. I took off after him with Jasper, a dangerous canine dog, by my side. When I got close, I pointed my gun at him and shouted, "Take one more step and I'll pull the trigger." That's when he froze and slowly turned around.
Oh.
Drop the bag. Now,
Nancy, listen.
Drop the bag. For once in his life, James actually listened. He dropped the bag, raised his hands, and went to his knees. But he wasn't scared. He smirked at me like he had an ace up his sleeve.
Come on, sis. You're not really gonna arrest me, are you?
You think you're getting special treatment?
I'm your brother.
Yeah? Where was that brotherly love when I was on the streets? He opened his mouth, but I wasn't interested. I cuffed him, read him his rights, and hauled him to the station. Our parents came in not long after.
Nancy, sweetheart, you arrested your brother by mistake, right?
No mistake. He was caught red-handed.
You don't understand. This could ruin his life.
He ruined his own life. He's a criminal.
Oh, stop being dramatic. Just don't testify. Say the evidence was wrong, Nancy.
You're out of your minds.
Nancy, after everything we did for you, you owe us.
That was it. That was the moment the last thread holding me to them snapped. Owe you? You mean when you kicked me out? When you made it clear James was the only child that mattered? No, I don't owe you anything, and I'm going to make sure James gets exactly what he deserves. And I did. I testified and watched as the jury found him guilty and saw the look of horror on my parents' faces as the judge handed down the sentence, 15 years. After the verdict, my parents tried one last time.
Please, he's family.
So was I. Didn't seem to matter back then.
You've changed. You're cruel.
No, I just stopped letting you control me. James went to prison. My parents lost their influence when people found out they tried to pressure a federal agent to commit perjury. They were blacklisted from their social circles, their business partners dropped them, and their perfect little world crumbled. Meanwhile, I was celebrated. My department praised me for my integrity. The media ate up the story of the agent who took down her own brother. James was sent to prison, and that favoritism he'd enjoyed his whole life was turned back on him. He went in expecting to be treated like a king, but was instead sentenced to a life as a servant. The bigger, scarier prisoners quickly saw his weakness and took advantage. So before long, James was serving them their food, making their beds, washing their clothes, all while the other prisoners laughed at him for thinking he was going to be a king inside the prison. As for my parents, they started threatening me, hurling insults about how I had betrayed the family and even tried turning other relatives against me. But instead, I recorded their calls and used them as evidence, leading to their swift arrest and a 1-year prison sentence for threatening the life of an FBI agent. Subscribe, or I'll arrest you like I did James.
Sorry, Claire. We decided you're staying down there until you lose some weight. Maybe then we won't be so embarrassed to be seen with you.
Wait, what? Please, I'm starving. Please let me out.
Nope. Maybe going to bed hungry will speed up your metabolism, though.
Her laughter echoed through the door as she walked away, leaving me in the dark. I was furious, humiliated, and terrified. Did they really plan to leave me here? That night, I drank water from a tap in the basement just to feel full enough to sleep. The next morning, I called out again, hoping they'd come to their senses. Instead, Uncle Mike's voice greeted me through the door.
We're still deciding how long to keep you down there. Maybe a week, maybe 2. We'll see. Depends how quickly you lose weight.
Panic set in. I couldn't survive like this. I had to find a way out, especially since I didn't for sure when they would let me out. I began searching the basement for anything that could help me. Eventually, I found some old boxes and stacked them up to reach a small window near the ceiling. My name is Claire, and I've always known I was different from my sister Jessica. It's not just that we don't get along, we're practically opposites in every way. Jessica is pretty, thin, and effortlessly popular. People are drawn to her like moths to a flame. Me? I'm the nerdy one. I love school. I'm more than a little overweight, and I'd rather spend my Friday nights reading than going to parties. I guess being so different wouldn't be such a problem if Jessica didn't make it her personal mission to remind me of it every chance she got.
God, Claire, could you be any more of a loser? Who cares about your stupid grades? No one's impressed.
Mom and Dad care. Besides, not everyone can coast through life on their looks like you do.
Oh, please. You're just jealous because I don't have to try to get people to like me. People are naturally drawn to me, whereas they see you and are disgusted.
They are not.
Of course they are. You really don't know just how ugly you really are. You're such a freak.
That was Jessica. Every word out of her mouth was meant to cut me down, to make me feel small. And the worst part? It worked. I hated how she treated me, but I didn't know how to fight back. The only saving grace was our parents. They were my rock, kind, loving, and supportive. No matter how awful Jessica was to me, Mom and Dad were always there to remind me that I was special in my own way, and that they truly loved me, and that they knew that I would go far in life. But then, everything changed, and not for the better. It was a rainy afternoon when the police knocked on our door. Mom and Dad had been in a car accident and had been rushed to the hospital with severe injuries. Sadly, they didn't make it, and they passed away while doctors tried to save them. I can't even describe the pain of hearing those words. It felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. Jessica cried, of course. But even in my grief, I could tell there was something hollow about it. She always knew how to put on a show, and this was no different. I really didn't think she was even capable of caring about anyone else other than herself. After the funeral, our aunt and uncle offered to take us in since they were childless. At first, I thought it would be okay, and that it would be a fresh start. They were polite and seemed genuinely kind, but that kindness didn't last long, at least not for me. From the beginning, it was clear they favored Jessica.
Jessica, you're such a beautiful young lady. We're so lucky to have you in our family.
With looks like that, you could be a model one day. Shame that Claire didn't get the same good looks. I guess every family has a black sheep.
I tried to impress them in my own way. I brought home straight A's, showed them awards I'd won, and even helped out around the house more than Jessica ever did. But no matter what I did, it was never enough. In fact, the more I did, the more they looked at me with disgust.
That's nice, Claire. But have you seen Jessica's new dress? Doesn't she look stunning?
School is fine and all, but you really should focus on losing a few pounds. You'd be much prettier if you tried, and people would like you far more. Don't you ever wonder how people must look at us as a family and see you and think poorly of us?
It's true. Your uncle, myself, and Jessica are beautiful people, and when our neighbors see you, they must wonder how someone fat and ugly could be related to us.
Their words hurt so much, and Jessica loved every second of it. She reveled in the attention they gave her and how cruel they were towards me. She made sure to rub it in my face whenever she could.
Face it, Claire. You'll never measure up to me. Just stop trying.
Life isn't about popularity or looks, Jessica. One day you'll be old and your looks will fade, but meanwhile, I'll still be smart and probably with a good job.
As if. I'll just marry some rich man, and while you are breaking your back working, I'll be living the life of luxury.
Their favoritism turned into outright cruelty. This became more common because my uncle worked for a magazine, and sometimes, due to Jessica's beauty, he would use her for makeup advertisements, earning thousands of dollars. But because I was fat, I couldn't be used, and they saw me as a burden. While they showered Jessica with new clothes and jewelry, I was left with hand-me-downs and snide remarks. It was as if I didn't exist, just an afterthought, a burden they were forced to tolerate. Then came the night that everything fell apart. One evening, Uncle Mike came home from work with big news.
I've got an important client coming over for dinner tonight. He's actually the publisher of the best magazine in this state. This could be huge for my career, so I need everything to be perfect.
He turned to Jessica and smiled.
Jessica, make sure you wear something nice. We want to impress him, and seeing your beautiful face will definitely do just that.
Then his gaze shifted to me and his smile vanished and turned into a nasty sneer.
As for you, Claire, you're staying in the basement. I don't want you embarrassing us. I don't want my client to see your ugly face and think poorly of me because of it.
What? But
Don't argue with me. Just do as you're told.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I wanted to scream, to fight back, but the look on his face told me it wouldn't matter. Defeated, I grabbed a couple of books and went down to the basement. Hours passed as I sat there, my stomach growling. I hadn't been allowed to eat dinner, and the hunger was unbearable. When I finally heard the front door close and realized the client had left, I made my way to the basement door, only to find it locked. I pounded on the door, calling for help. Hello? Somehow, the door got locked. Can someone please let me out?
Sorry, Claire. We decided you're staying down there until you lose some weight. Maybe then we won't be so embarrassed to be seen with you.
Wait, what? Please, I'm starving. Please let me out.
Nope. Maybe going to bed hungry will speed up your metabolism, though.
Her laughter echoed through the door as she walked away, leaving me in the dark. I was furious, humiliated, and terrified. Did they really plan to leave me here? That night, I drank water from a tap in the basement just to feel full enough to sleep. The next morning, I called out again, hoping they'd come to their senses. Instead, Uncle Mike's voice greeted me through the door.
We're still deciding how long to keep you down there. Maybe a week, maybe 2. We'll see. Depends how quickly you lose weight.
Panic set in. I couldn't survive like this. I had to find a way out, especially since I didn't for sure when they would let me out. I began searching the basement for anything that could help me. Eventually, I found some old boxes and stacked them up to reach a small window near the ceiling. It was too small for me to fit through, but it gave me an idea. I wrote a note explaining everything, how I'd been locked in the basement, starved, and tormented by my family. Then I searched for something to make my story more believable. That's when I found an old tape recorder. I set it up near the door and recorded myself calling out for help. Sure enough, Jessica, Aunt Susan, and Uncle Mike all came to mock me.
Keep crying, Claire. Maybe it'll help you burn some calories.
You'll thank us later. This is for your own good.
Stop whining. You'll get out when we say you can. For now, we'll keep you locked down there. Of course, if you happen to die, though, we'll just celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, we'll save so much money by not having to buy food for your fat ass.
Their voices were clear on the recording. I wrapped the cassette tape in my note and waited until the next morning. When I heard the neighbor heading to work, I pushed the window open and threw the bundle into their yard in front of them. I watched as they picked it up, read the note, and looked up at me in shock. Nervously, they tiptoed towards the house and spoke to me through the open window.
Is this true?
Yes. Please, help me, if you need proof. Please listen to the recording. They promised to call the police and ran off with the tape. Hours later, I heard sirens and the sound of officers pounding on the front door. There was shouting, arguing, and then gunfire. Moments later, the basement door burst open, and police officers rushed down to get me. They brought me to the neighbor's house, where I finally got to eat a proper meal while giving my statement. The officers explained what had happened.
When we arrived, your family claimed you weren't here. They said you'd run away. When we demanded to see the basement, your uncle threatened us with a gun. When we forcefully tried to get in, your uncle started shooting. One of our officers was forced to fire, and he was shot.
I later learned that Uncle Mike didn't survive his injuries, and he died on the way to the hospital. Aunt Susan and Jessica were arrested and charged with wrongful imprisonment, child abuse, kidnapping, and attempted murder. Jessica, despite being a minor, was tried as an adult because of the seriousness of the crimes and her role in them. Weeks passed, and they were both sentenced to 20 years in prison each. With Aunt Susan gone, I was given ownership of their house, but as a minor, I couldn't live alone. The neighbor who had saved me, Rebecca, offered to adopt me. I'll never forget the day the court approved it. I was skeptical that it would be an improvement, but was so very relieved to find out that it was the best thing to ever happen to me.
You're safe now, Claire. I'll take care of you. I promise that I will protect and keep you safe.
For the first time in years, I felt truly loved. Rebecca treated me like her own daughter, and life with her was everything I'd ever dreamed of. I had no intention of ever living in my aunt and uncle's home, and so I sold it and used the money to pay for college, and with the money left over, I invested it. Years later, I used that money that had grown while I was in school, and I bought my own home and started a life I was proud of. As for my aunt and Jessica, I heard rumors that my uncle's ghost keeps tormenting them. Inmates despise them after learning how horrible they were, often bullying them, seizing their food, or occasionally beating them. The worst happened when Jessica tried to seduce a guard. It backfired and was locked up in solitary confinement, and her sentence was extended by 3 months. As for Jessica and Aunt Susan, I made a point to often write them letters, just to let them know how happy and successful I'd become without them. And sometimes I will include photos of my vacation trips. Maybe it was spiteful, but it always makes me smile rubbing their noses in the fact that they are stuck in prison while I get to live my best life. Thanks for watching.